Yo, YouTube! Greetings and salutations. It is your boy, Uncle Jidge. And as you notice, I'm not alone in the booth tonight. There is a man sitting across from me. Well, not just across, virtually, but somewhat across the country from me. And that is one of my absolute best buds in the entire world, and that is Mr. Timothy Mrgij.
What? Hey!
Yo, Tim's excited. Check out that fancy booth, you guys. Look at that microphone.
Look at Gandalf.
We've got so many Pez dispensers. I've never seen that many in a collection.
Oh man, and child art, from
children's art. Hey, the man is a father and celebrates his child on a regular basis.
I do.
Tim and I have known each other for a long time, just like Curtis and I. Tim and I met in Los Angeles. We did a bunch of improv together, musical improv, some regular improv, and that's our background as well. Acting, comedy. Tim's an amazing voice actor. You probably heard him on tons of things, and maybe didn't even recognize that it was him.
Maybe
but Tim, welcome. To Curtis Madge and
Uncle Jidge. It is a joy.
Hey,
a joy.
I appreciate it, my man.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, as you guys know on the channel, that we have with Curtis kind of on hiatus a little bit and moving around.
Miss you, man. Miss you, Curtis.
Absolutely.
Love you, bro.
And he's and again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you go back a few video posts. Curtis did a couple of solo reactions. Got to check them out. They're really good. And if it's your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that like
and subscribe. Can I do it?
Hit that, yeah.
Make sure you hit those like and subscribe. Light us up with your comments.
This guy knows.
What are you doing this weekend? Put it in the comments below.
Let us know everything you're doing this weekend. Yeah. And also, if you can give us your social security number, that would be
please.
Good.
And your Venmo. Your Venmo. No, my Venmo.
Go to Tim's Venmo and then send me money from Tim's Venmo.
No.
As you can see, the comedy flows.
Yes.
So recently on the channel, you know that I have started to explore a little bit of the postmodern jukebox. And Tim is an amazing musician, amazing vocalist. We actually got an opportunity to teach musical improv together, which was a highlight for sure. And so Tim, have you ever heard of postmodern jukebox?
I've heard of the postmodern philosophy. I don't know about the jukebox.
Postmodern jukebox is completely new to you then?
Yes.
Okay.
It is new to me.
I
thought we were going to get into like a whole philosophical discussion about postmodernism, which I mean, we can.
We absolutely can.
Yeah.
But the people generally don't love these long intros, which we've gone a little bit long, which is totally fine. But we are going to jump in to All About That Bass, Meaghan Trainor classic, penultimate, if you will. And it is the postmodern jukebox European tour version that we're going to react to. So, Tim, are you ready to react?
I'm ready to react. Let's do it. Like I'm gonna drop that bass.
Great with the German accent, just to make it feel right at home. Let's get into it without any more dilly and dally. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, about that bass, and no trouble. I'm all about that bass, and no trouble.
The sultry snapping.
I'm all about that bass, about that bass, and no trouble.
I bite that lower lip.
About that bass, about that bass.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I ain't no size dude, but I can shake it like I'm supposed to do. 'Cause I got that boom boom that all the boys are chasing, all the right junk in all the right places. I see those magazines working on Photoshop. You know that stuff ain't real. Come on and make it stop. If you got beauty, then raise them up, 'cause every inch of you is perfect from the bottom to the top. My mama, she told me don't worry about your size. She said boys like a little more booty to hold the night. You know I won't be no stick figure, silicone Barbie doll. So if that's what you're into, then go ahead and move along. Because you know I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, I'm bringing booty back. Go ahead and tell those skinny ladies that. Nah, I'm just playing. I know you think you're fat, but I'm here to tell you every inch of you is perfect from the bottom to the top. Hey, my mama, she told me don't worry about your size. She said boys like a little more booty to hold at night. And I won't be no stick figure silicone Barbie doll. So if that's what you're into, then go ahead and move along. Because you know I'm You see, my mama, she told me don't worry about your size. Because boys like a little more booty to hold at night. You know I won't be no stick figure silicone Barbie doll. So if that's what you're into, then go ahead and move along. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass, no treble. I'm all about the bass.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was so fun.
Oh.
I'm standing. I am standing. It doesn't look any different than me sitting, but incredible.
It
So
brought him
fun.
out of his seat, off of his base, if you will.
Yes, off of my base. I got off of that base, which my mama told me that I should get off of. She said that was an extra thing she said to me.
Well, yeah. Well, moms were giving out all kinds of advice. Turns out
about the base. Yes.
Listen, one of the things that I really, really love about postmodern jukebox is this reimagining of a modern pop song into a style, a standard, right? Like now, the terminology we use to think back on the era of the big band, of the crooner, if you will, basically anything I would say from the late 20s into, even into the 50s and 60s, when you're talking about Sinatra and you're talking about the Dean Martins and people like that. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about postmodern is that you're looking at people who are younger than us, probably, if we're being honest, or in our age range, and yet they've all had sort of this exposure to and experience, and obviously they're all wonderful musicians, and vocally we'll get into all of the musicianship and that side of it. But really just I love the tribute to a time. Listen, I love films from that era, from the 40s and the 50s. I'm a huge Danny Kaye fan. Love, Bob Hope and Jerry Lewis. All of those.
Bing, don't forget Bing.
Bing, yeah, absolutely. And all of those incorporated these amazing, pieces of music that were, everything from swing to jazz and all in between. And I'm here for it. And so to watch these guys do something in that vein is always exciting.
Uncle Jidge, you could not have picked a better song and style for me, because when kids were listening to, Green Day and Weezer and all, all of the alternative rock bands in the 90s, I was listening to big band and jazz. That's what I was into. I was a trombonist, so I was eyeing up that guy with the good old.
So you had a predisposition, and also your dad was a musician and also played a horn instrument, correct?
He was a vocalist. My mom was pianist, guitar. My grandfather played trombone. My uncle played trombone. I played, and now my son is playing trombone.
Oh, well,
so 4 generations of trombonists.
There you go.
And I really, like, in high school, I was all about Sinatra. So I was trying to shape my vocals behind Sinatra and Dean Martin, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the greats, because I wanted to be a crooner. I wanted to croon.
There's something so like magical about that type of vocalist. Obviously, in the modern era, we would think of guys like Michael Bublé. We would think of guys like Henry Connick that have kept that that style. And it is very much regional at times. You think of the New Orleans region, you think of jazz and big bang and swing, and it's probably kept its sort of heartbeat there still, right? It's probably, I remember a few years ago there was a sort of revitalization in the swing world.
Late 90s especially. Gap kind of brought it back, remember?
Right. And the Swing Kids was a movie that came out around that time that was supposed to be about Nazi era Germany, and how kids who were trying to keep freedom kind of alive in that part of the world were listening to swing and jazz. It was such a huge it was a music of rebellion on some level, but also a music of people, of enjoyment, of fun, and these guys really brought that out.
Oh, and then you had these kind of breakthrough sensations in the Cherry Poppin' Daddies, which is a big swing kind of ska kind of fusion.
Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Brian Setzer, I was going to say Brian Setzer. These guys who are really kind of bringing it back into the mainstream. And in fact, I did swing dancing in high school. And me and my partner, we learned how to do all these aerials because of all that stuff. Because of that Gap commercial.
Yeah.
And go look it up. Go on YouTube and find that Gap commercial.
There were a lot of high school kids who were doing like you'd have some kind of a what do you call it? What were the contests at school that you would have, like well, not glee clubs, but talent shows or talent show. My gosh, I couldn't remember talent show.
Talent show.
And I remember quite a few talent shows in the 90s where kids were doing a lot of swing.
Oh man, yeah.
But let's get into these guys specifically. Postmodern. I just recently, in introducing them to the channel and starting to do some reactions, did a version. It's escaping me what I did, but it was essentially more of a soulful kind of 60s lounge with that sort of James Bond style vibe.
Yeah,
like
spy
spy thriller kind of a deal. And I can't even remember what song it was. Boy, it's escaping me in my old age. But what I really do appreciate about Postmodern is this theatricality, right? Like they bring that to the table with their costuming, and the layout and the construction is essentially this throwback. And again, like I said, both Tim and I and Curtis, we spent, we cut our teeth doing, theater and improv and comedy and music. And so to see this,
as did almost every movie star you see on TV and film.
Oh, absolutely.
They're all the theater nerds from high school.
Absolutely. And to see the utilization of YouTube, the opportunity. Look, I don't know that, prior to having this platform to be able to showcase people's talent, how would you, drone up the business? Drum up, I should say, not drone.
We can make it work.
Drum up the business to have a band like this on a tour and perform, because people would be like, well, I don't understand. You're telling me it's going to sound like a jazz standard. But again,
Right.
that's when the beauty of where the time period we're living in gets opportunities for people to showcase this kind of theatricality. We do a lot of on the channel reactions to pentatonic and voice play and southern and home free, and all of those bands have really utilized the idea of presenting themselves, not just the vocal side, but the theatricality in their in their video presentations. And I think that's another thing that's really a draw for those groups to start developing a fan base, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, they did a lot of, what I love about these guys is there's a lot of thought that's been put into this, more so than just sounding cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That's I think anyone who doesn't necessarily have a rooted in jazz, or big band or swing or any of the stuff they were doing, can still enjoy this.
Yeah, so absolutely, 100%.
This is not exclusive to that, but if you actually have, if you're a student of that form, if you've just been a fan of it, as I have, there's all these little homages they're kind of tucking in there.
Yeah, you pointed a few out during the recording. Can you remember there was you did point out, and when I noticed that when the three female vocalists came together, listen, I'm a huge fan of the why is their name escaping me?
The Andrews Sisters.
Yeah. The Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Absolutely.
I probably watch it at least 2 or 3 times a month on video. But
That's a commitment.
Yeah, well, I just love the harmonies. I love the the blending of the style, and that theatricality, and then of course that vocal melding that the girls did on this production was fantastic, right? Because you're talking about this sort of marriage of you're taking a modern tune, and you're bringing it back to a time where you didn't have a lot of production tools that could help vocals. You didn't have pitch control. You didn't have a lot of the synthesizing. It was your vocals, and that's it. A microphone, probably not the best mixer. And so to see them honor that was really, really cool.
Oh yeah. And they obviously brought a kind of fun, I don't know if they were, well, I think they kind of had a little bit of a what's the word, the burlesque kind of feel to it, which like a cabaret, like they were they were bringing that cabaret kind of feel into, because that that song has, and the kind of undertones of that song about booty, like it's
it's a cabaret-esque song.
That's right.
For sure,
that's
for
right.
Sure.
But of course, like that Andrews Sisters vibe is a lot of fun. I mean, they were certainly channeling some of the kind of the greats in terms of female vocalists from the 30s and the 40s. Yeah. Ella Fitzgerald was what came to mind for me.
Sure. Yeah.
One of
Etta James, Eartha Kitt, all of them.
Oh yeah. Rosemary Clooney.
Just for sure.
Some of the best vocal jazz vocalists of that era, and they were absolutely emulating those in a lot of.
And they had
really
some.
ways.
The other thing, so one of my favorite movies of all time, which is not a very well-known film, but if you get a chance, you have to see it. It's called A Song Is Born, and it's a Danny Kaye film about he and these men, several years his senior, are professors of music, and they happen to be recording a live musical history of music up until that point. Now, they've been stuck in this mansion being funded outside by this philanthropist, and they've only recorded music. And they hadn't been outside in like 7 or 9 years in terms of hearing music. And they have been, talking about Brahms, and they were talking about, all the concertos and different things. And then I'm going to give the whole plot of the movie, but these 2 guys come in, they're window washers, and they're wanting to get answers for a radio program. And the questions were musical, and they knew that these guys knew about music. But when they were describing the music, these guys were completely clueless. They had no idea that jazz had actually been born. All right, so I'll fast forward and tell you, it's an amazing movie that has Benny Goodman and Satchmo and Gene Krupa and everybody that was huge at that time is in this film, making an appearance. And it's this kind of funny love story, gangster story. It's really great. And there's a lounge singer at the beginning that who ends up being the love interest for Danny Kaye, and her name is escaping me, but she had that vibe. She had that sort of sultry, I'm in control, I'm singing, and that was kind of what these girls were giving off when they were
oh man. And I love there were different moments where my brain was automatic, and I even did it. It was inserting different artists that just they were again these kind of little homages to, like Louis Armstrong when they brought in that kind of New Orleans kind of jazz with the horns there.
For sure.
Absolutely, those kind of trombone slides and like the kind of trills with the way you get the sound in the in the brass, all that stuff, and that kind of has a cabaret burlesque kind of.
If you also get a chance, Casey Abrams is a fantastic vocalist and also obviously a great upright bass player. He's also on TikTok and does a lot of fun stuff.
I know him from TikTok for sure.
He's great. And so when he, and I guess his name is Adam Kabuta, did the dueling bass on the same bass, man, so
that's
fun.
That's like the musicianship and the artistry there is I mean I've never seen anything like that.
And that to me is what makes a good artist for YouTube. You have to have both, right?
Yeah.
You
visual
have
medium, having stuff like that just adds so much to what they're doing.
Right.
You know?
It's not enough to just have the good music, but to be able to turn it into something theatrical is great. For sure. Listen, guys, thank you so much for coming through and checking out the channel. And again, get at us in the comments. Let us know about music you'd like to see. It was because of your suggestions that we jumped into this particular postmodern reaction. So thank you for that. Make sure you hit the like button. Like I said, talk to us in the comments, and if you're so inclined, hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. Hopefully at some point soon, Curtis and I will be back in the booth together. We may be doing some live stuff, so we will keep you abreast of those situations. Tim is also on social media. Tell the people where you are and what you're out there.
All right. These days I'm hitting up TikTok. Hit me up on TikTok, Timmy Morgan 0. Just the number 0, not the word 0. Timmy Morgan 0. And on the Insta, if that still exists. I don't know. It wasn't existing.
I think Insta's out there on these streets.
Is it okay? Yeah.
And Twitter. How about Twitter? Are you Twitter?
And Insta's Timmy Morg. Just TIMMYMORG. Twitter, Twitter's Timmy Morgan.
Okay. I will make sure to put into the description all of the links to check out Timmy's stuff. So make sure you go and check his stuff out. Continue to support the channel. We really appreciate it. And listen, when you watch something like this, you have a little bit of an emotional reaction. You probably have a smile on your face. You probably feel a little bit of joy. But Tim and I today would like to end by making sure you also experience a little bit of peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jizz. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm repping for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jizz, I'ma give you the plug.